There we go. Hey, y'all. Okay. Hey, welcome back to STS Shooting the Shit. I'm Kathy Smithy, and the voice in our head is Kevin Williams.
Hello.
And Russ is back tonight.
Hello.
Russ McGuffey's back.
Hello.
And in the studio tonight, we have Eric Achee, a.k.a. Elrod Jettison.
Elrod.
What's up, everybody?
Man, I love your cartoon. Love it.
Don't you love that shit,
I do.
dude? I did that all by myself.
Thank
man.
you for that.
I'm famous, man. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a pretty big deal.
I know you are. Huge fan.
So a cartoon, for real.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Jetsons.
Oh, the Jetsons. We talked about this earlier. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
I feel you. Okay, it started. I got banned from Facebook. Everybody knows how I am. So I decided to make another page so I can go and say some things to get me banned again.
Of course.
And so I went on. I love Elroy Jetson. I love the Jetsons. He's a cool little kid. He's got a dog. I love the dog, Elroy, or whatever his name is. So I started thinking about getting banned again with the name Elroy Jetson.
That was your goal.
Yeah, well,
Of course it was.
I don't want to get sued by the Jetsons.
True.
So I said, I thought to myself, let's just change the thing, Elrod. And that's cool. That's a cool name.
Elrod is cool.
And then Jettison. That sounds like futuristic. That's cool in the first place. So I went ahead and changed it, and I used the logo of me when I was in a band called Obliteration back. Michael Sullivan. He told me to say his name. So there you go, Michael.
Do some shout outs tonight.
And so I used the one of the pictures of me in that band, bending the strings. I have a couple of shirts with it on it, but I use that as my brand logo for Elrod.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that covers a bunch of music stuff and different my photography and all that. So
that's awesome. So you do photography?
I do. Eric Achee on Instagram, and it's no politics. It's just I use Instagram for pictures.
Yes, that's what I like Instagram for.
Really, and it's I'm proud of my gallery. I worked at the Country Club of Jackson for a little while, and when you get there at 6:00 in the morning and you get to see the sun come up, and you take these pictures of a misty golf course, it's so awesome. And people were, my name was Dog Meat for the longest time. It's gamer tag. That's what I go by. Dog meat. And
AKA Dog Meat.
I was walking around the country club with a paint bucket in my hand, and this golfer goes, "Hey, you're the Dog Meat, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I love your Instagram page, man. Thank you so much for doing it." And I was like, "Wow, thank you." And he passed it around. I got a whole bunch of followers from them. So
you have an Instagram for your photography and then an Instagram for Dog Meat.
No,
it's all together.
I just changed my name back to Eric Achee instead of Dog Meat.
So y'all want to check out his photography?
Yeah,
go see him on Instagram.
It's pretty good. It's not bad. I've got some. I want to put them in print on wall on canvas and stuff. I think there's a couple that are flying. I also have a bunch of paint pants that I'm fixing to sell on eBay as an art project. I'm going to be like some big artist and go, look, I've spent years cultivating my craft, and they're just pants I wore to work and got paint all over. But I'm going to say I did this on purpose. And so people, I'll give you $1,500 for this pair of pants. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's all an accident. Yeah, like Jackson Pollock.
Exactly, Jackson Pollock.
Which is if you want to get into the whole CIA stuff, he was a CIA operative, and they put him in there to make sure that mediocrity rose to the top. And so you could get away with being an artist and make millions if you're okay.
If you're just okay.
I got really drunk and threw up on this canvas, and man, people want to buy it. It's awesome. And so that's the mentality of it.
Yeah,
and
true.
They push that. Any of this modern art mass produced garbage is just what it is. If you see a real artist that you can go and look at, they got people on Facebook that'll pencil draw. It looks like a photograph.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good they are. And then you got people like Jackson Pollock throwing paint on something and becoming a millionaire.
Yes.
Look at me, I'm famous.
Yeah.
I did that paint. You know that thing that looked like someone threw up after they got through at the circus? Yeah, that's my paint.
Yeah.
And how do you really feel?
If you sit tight, we'll find out.
I have a feeling we're going to.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've got a lot to say about a lot of things.
Just put a curly wig on and throw some paint. You know, put videos.
Bob Ross.
Don't talk about Bob Ross, man.
We love Bob
what
Ross.
it is, though. I can look at a Jackson Pollock and say, "What the fuck is that?" And people say, "Well, it's an interpretation of life and his alcoholism." No, shut up, man. He was drunk and threw a bunch of paint. Now, Bob Ross, I can see that it's a lake with some mountains and some trees, happy trees,
Happy trees.
Happy trees.
happy trees that are smiling at me. And they all got a story to tell.
But you got to talk softer.
No, that'll never happen.
I know.
Sorry, that's Bob Ross's area.
You're the hard rock Bob Ross.
It's hilarious.
Band name called it.
There we go. Hard rock Bob Ross. Making rock hard again.
Oh God, are we allowed to have this much fun? Is this like?
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, this is fun.
This should be illegal. All right.
By the end of this, it may be.
Cops are going to kick in the door.
For mature audiences we have to put warnings on some of these videos.
Yeah, trust me, you're going to need some mature audience warnings.
Hey,
this show.
Let's go ahead and
Now
get
you
this.
sound like Billy Allen. How many of those have you had?
He sounds like me. No.
Hey, let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
Oh, here we go.
Ah,
Is it
shit.
Clayton
Clayton
Pell. Yes.
Well, I was going to bring him up anyway because I love Clayton. I mean,
Sure.
serious. This is a serious problem with me. Rich Hall, Brad Caraway, the aforementioned, and a bunch of bass players. I'll never play with Kelly. I actually dual wielded with him on stage at Danny Dubow's tribute. I think we were two bass players. You really couldn't tell, but I don't get to play with these guys. I'll never play with Rich Hall. He's a bass player.
Right,
Right.
of course, right.
And so, it's like, unless I pick up a guitar, and that's not going to happen. But, so I'll never get to play with them. And that kills my soul because I love them as people as well as musicians, So it's, what you going to do? Take up another instrument? I play harmonica, but that's about it,
Oh, I love harmonica.
Yeah, I blow some harp. Not like John Love, though. I'm not in his league, but I got one or two little things, but that's it. So
Okay, have you ridden in the hearse?
I have not. He's never invited me. I'm a bass player, and he's kind of like,
It ain't nothing till you ride in the casket portion.
that's right. Yeah, I would lay down.
There you go.
Well, there's a story about this guy who was transporting a body across town, and he had his buddy.
A real body.
This is a guy in a hearse, and
He's not in the trunk?
No, they're in a hearse, and they got a body back there. So they're driving, and their coworkers, they doing shifts, driving across country. So the passenger falls asleep, and while he's asleep, the guy driving stops and picks up a hitchhiker, and says,
Pick him up.
"You can." I ain't got no room, but you can, if you don't mind, you can lay back there with the body and with the casket. And the guy was like, "Man, I just need a ride. I don't care."
Don't care.
So he laid back there, and they drove on down a couple hours, and they stopped for something to drink and eat. And they went inside to use the bathroom, and they came back out. And the guy who's asleep was lighting a cigarette and looked up at the hearse, and the guy got up and looked at him and said, "Hey, bro," and knocked on the glass. "You got a cigarette?" And the guy ran home.
That's hilarious.
The dead body just asked me for a cigarette. I'm gone.
That's hilarious.
That's a story of someone told me once. It was just hilarious. I just thought about it. That shit's going to happen. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, look at me.
How many Andy Gators have you had?
You can tell
You're
by the
up
way
there.
they sound.
You're up there with Keith. Keith Plunkett was talking about his Andy Gators.
Keith Plunkett is one hell of a smart cat.
Yes,
I had
he
no
is.
idea he had the political backing that he. Wow,
Yeah.
that dude did all that. Man, that's amazing. I enjoyed that podcast too.
That was a great podcast. It was a great show.
Yeah, those are good guys too, man. I enjoyed.
Yeah,
it.
they are good guys.
I enjoyed the band as well. So.
And we had fun with Reckless Malfunction, which we may want to say.
Yeah, that stunning
used to be.
bulls thing. I was like, you got
Darting
me.
bulls.
Yeah, darting bull. That got me from the get go. Like, where the hell is this?
That was a great hook.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's John Love. Who knows where this is going, man? I mean, it's going to be wild.
But the thing is, you were actually in that band before it was wrecking. Reckless Malfunction.
That's right. And it was a lot of fun. And we had a great... Actually, here's a story about this band. BB's. I am the the reason everybody there got COVID. And so
Oh man, you just put a bullseye on yourself.
I did. No, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So it was like
everybody there got COVID. They know.
It was the second show as Elrod, and I was jamming, and Clayton Pell's wife, who's just awesome in the music scene, and she's all asking me, what, you're usually very outgoing and jumping off the stage, and what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. I got 2 songs into it and went, and someone clicked a switch, click, and all my juice went gone. It was gone. I was like barely struggling to stand up because I was so exhausted.
Oh gosh!
And so it was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And I said, "I gotta go, man." And then I got paid the next week because I left without getting paid, and I was feeling so bad. And the next day, Monday, I came to find out they gave me a test at work and said, "You got COVID, go home." And then I called up there and told Melissa,
"Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's me." And we got 5 people right now with the COVID. So I think it started before you. So I mean, it's going around.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst shows I ever had. But I finished the damn show and don't remember the last half of it. But it was a lot of fun. Bonnie Blair's was always a gas, man. That place is a blast all the time. Good crowd, good people. Bartenders were top notch.
Yeah.
So
man, I love playing there.
Man, it was great.
I wish it was back.
Me too. Me too. They're special people over there, man. And it's not just the owners. It was also the crowd. You have this really hungry crowd for some good music.
Yeah.
It really
that makes a huge difference.
It sure does.
Yeah.
And they're so supportive. There's some people that are really always there, and they're taking pictures. Andrea Garrett's doing a lot of that lately. Is. And it's people like that's who we play for, because she puts out for us, she puts out all this work and investigation and homework, as well as, and what's her name? Hope
Steele.
Hope Steele. God.
Oh yeah.
Chris and Hope.
Hope, 2 of the best people you could ever have, and just be able to
super
come around.
Folks.
And Hope's. I got half a dozen shots right now that are hopes of me, that she took, and I thank you for doing it. I appreciate people like that. I don't have anybody that brings a video camera or takes pictures, but we got good people, good friends.
Yeah, and we have also in the studio.
And this guy, Matt.
Well, the bearded man.
He ain't never done no pictures of me, so
we have Scott Jones in the studio, y'all. He's not on camera, but he's helping us. And
if he yells loud enough, I can hear him.
Some beautiful pictures.
But I would let him take pictures of my band. That's for sure. I would pay him.
He does a great job.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Does some good stuff.
So yeah, he works hard at it.
He does.
He loves his craft.
Scott may be joining the crew here.
Oh well, that's a good thing. That's nothing but good.
Or at least when he can.
Yeah, when he can.
Well, he technically advanced as well. That's good. Someone that knows the technical side.
I'm just now learning to plug in the earphones. So yeah, I'm not much technical help.
You've turned into a pretty good tech in there. So.
Well,
Scott's a Maristar trained.
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
big wigs. The big wig. The corporate. He's been to corporate. Call him out on the carpet. But there's a lot of things. The main thing I wanted to do it on a podcast, because I had this idea for a long time too. But the reason I wanted to do it because I love local bands, local music.
Yes.
And and people have done for me like I want to do for them. I want to blow people up, Waking Mars.
Yes.
And all these people that are out now that are really doing some good music. Cookie Woo, they're a good one. They're really rocking. Young people, coming right out the gate. Right. And I love to hear some good original stuff, and there's nothing better than these original. And so it's going to take you a second to catch on to their songs, but if you go see them, or you hear one, and I'd like to have a record put out in my ear and maybe hear some music again and again, so I can, I love that song, play it again, and you get recognized, and it start a little buzz about it, and get people going out to shows. That's what we need to do, is get people to go out.
There is some original music coming out of Vicksburg that not a lot of people know about it because it's heavier. It's heavy metal music, doom metal and all that, but there's a couple of original bands coming up out of Vicksburg that are really good as well.
Oh yeah.
Plague Burner, Chief City.
Chief City, I know Chief City
from A Star. And I'm gonna forget somebody. Beneath the Kudzu. Y'all don't hate me if I forget who it is. Don't hate me, y'all.
It's a great name.
Beneath the Kudzu. Josh Harrison that's his band, and he's the drummer.
There's something beneath it.
Oh my gosh, it's a great little.
I'm glad that they're doing so. I'm glad that they're having success at promoting it. Because the South's not a really big friendly place for metal, and we got to support it as much as we can.
In Vicksburg, the music scene is growing, and there's a venue that will hold them there, and they go to New Orleans and play. And there's a place in not Monroe, maybe Shreveport, and a place in Arkansas that they travel, and they have this little circuit. So it's really great.
Good. See, back when I was in Trucker, we didn't have that. We had to go. Are you allow metal bands in your club?
Right.
We're pretty raw, and so we got this one show. We went and we played Oxford on the Square, and it was a great show, and it was awesome. And we had to leave the same night to go to Memphis, hop over there, and play a show. And we got there, and it was a glass walled cafe. And I was like, we're playing here. I said, we told them, look, we'll break this glass. Where this glass
I'll be like, I'm out of my league.
Yeah, this isn't gonna happen. When you see
that was a sound guy's nightmare too.
It was awful.
I bet.
And so we wound up coming home, and the transmission broke on the truck, and we drove home from Memphis at 35 miles an hour in second gear the whole way, and it took us 8 hours to get home. But it was great. It was great. It's fantastic.
A couple of venues here in the Jackson area that help those bands is CS's.
Oh, absolutely. I played CS's.
CS's and Urban Foxes.
Where is that?
I'm not sure where Urban Foxes is, but that's one of the venues. And there's one other venue in the Sunflower Oven or something here. I mean, in the Jackson area.
They need to promote. I hear nothing about this.
And I only see all this stuff because I'm on Facebook all the time doing the music and doing the promos and all that stuff and sharing. And so I see some of the venues, and so.
We need to hear more about that.
Yeah, there's some new venues.
Themselves. Come on,
they need to.
So I want to hear more venues that are going to have bands. That's a good thing. Let's have. And I'll be honest with you. This is why I love the South. It's Mississippi. I went to Salem, Oregon, to visit my dad, and I was, I'm going to go ride around and see if I can find a place with some music going on. So I drove around, and nowhere had music. And I went to a music store. I said, I'm going to find that. I said, I have a place around here that just, got a guy sitting there with a guitar playing, or a guy with a piano and stuff. And they looked at me like I was insane.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Musicians playing in public? Oh, my God. They were like, offended. I can't believe that it's supposed to be in private. You're not supposed to play music out in the streets. That's the way they had, the attitude they had. And I was like comparing it to Mississippi, where you could pretty much go in and there's a guy with a guitar over there, or a piano guy, or something. You go to Georgia Blue and one of your boys is up there playing.
Or even in the Kroger parking lot in Vicksburg, there's a dude who has an amp and a guitar, and he plays out in the parking lot. And it's live music. Yeah,
and that's what is great about the South, especially and compared to the rest of the country, because Salem, Oregon was a different world. It was a different planet. And first of all, there's no black people, and that's first of all, you go into a place that's serving fried chicken, and they don't have black cooks, or they serve some red beans and rice. They're a fraud.
Soul food.
You're a fraud. So I was kind of looking for a place that had a black person working there, or somewhere involved. And so I walked in this place, and it was a Ventis. It was a beer place, and there's a black guy on stage with a bass.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, thank God, I'm in heaven. Oh, thank God. And I listened to him for about a half an hour. He's a bass player and a keyboard player, and they did some stuff. And he stopped, and I was like, oh, I got to go talk to this guy. Oh, finally some culture. And so I went and talked to him, and guess where he's from?
Mississippi.
Of course. Like, what are you doing here? So, hey, there's good money, man. There ain't no black bass players over here.
There's no music up there.
There's no music whatsoever. But it was such a lapse for being that close to Seattle. Such a heartbeat of such music, And the music scene was such a loss.
About how long ago was that?
This probably 10 years.
Yeah, man.
Within a decade, and it's really pathetic. But what it does for me is shines a light on the South, because I know, my boss is a painter, and he's one of the greatest guitar players that ever. No offense there.
I totally agree with that. Well, I heard he plays awesome.
But that's just what he does. And I knew a guy working on the line at Nissan, black guy, one of the greatest bass players I've ever heard in my life. What are you doing? Well, there's bass players are a dime a dozen down here.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about? I know half a dozen bands looking for a bass player right now, but they're all rock bands, you know.
Yeah, Clayton can only handle so many bands.
Yeah, Clay's in only 12
I know.
and a half.
So we gotta have some more bass players.
Yeah, you gotta have it. Well, you know, you got other bass players. You know, and Mac and Johnson was one back in the.
I remember, man.
No, Mac was a guitar player, wasn't he?
He was, but he switched to bass.
Yeah.
He took my
Did he?
place in the band, and in Blindside, and in the Storage 24 thing.
So, you know, Mackin's a lawyer.
Yeah,
And he's tatted from head to toe, but you wouldn't know it in his suit.
a damn good guitar player too. Decent bass player, but
He's really good at everything.
He's a guitar player playing the bass.
Right.
You gotta get to it. You know.
Did you say he was in Storage 24, or he still is, or was?
No.
Oh.
This is before Storage was Storage.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
They've had 20 bass players since me. So I was in Blindside back in the day when Fred was pretty much established as having a good solid band, and I came in and replaced someone. Tommy, I think his name was. He passed away, but he was a solid bass player. But I went on the road with Fred, which was totally worth it. When you play for like 2,200 rebel biker clan members, and you got a black lead singer with a rebel flag around his head, and he goes out and wins every one of them, and have them coming up and saying, "Brother, man, that was the coolest thing I ever seen in my life, man. You can come back anytime you want." And he was walking around with a smile on his face because he changed people's opinion about him, you know, because he was fearless. He's always been fearless. He doesn't care. He's going to go out there and put in 110%.
Well, he was a Marine too.
Yeah, of course, and he's a 110% guy. You know, I'm all about these people that and he's all about his music. He pursues it like a profession. This is what I'm going to do. Love it. Chad Wesley, same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to pursue this as my career. I love it. This is what I want to do. And these are people that state what they want to do, and then
they do it.
They follow through.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, oh, wow. Like Chad, I begged Chad to be in his band when I saw him when he was like 18, 19, you know, and he was really cool. I have this bass player, you know, RC was a really good dude. I don't want to betray him and stuff. But when he had a spot, he got me. And he told me, but look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking for a black player from church. I want that Mississippi church sound. So you're not going to last long. So I knew that was coming. And then he got the Anthony Dan. Ant. Oh my God, Ant's a great bass player, and he plays with country bands. This guy's pro. He's just straight up pro. Plays with church, and I knew it was coming. I didn't mind. Yeah, if he would have replaced me with a worse bass player, we'd have fought. But I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it.
I get
it. The dude's a monster. Yeah, I'd do it too. I'd fire me too. So that was a lot of fun. And then I did the trucker thing, and and everybody in trucker, everybody knows Murph. Murph has a very, very big reputation for metal and rock and roll in this town, and he's gone a long way with 20 different bands. Bullet Well Spent, one of my favorites. If you want metal, Bullet Well Spent is the best metal band you're going to come across. I mean, it's almost prog metal almost, because it's like concept music. It's an concept album, which is great. And then these are all guys that come out of a very small area. We all know each other. Like Kevin too. Yeah. These are all people. Russell, me and Russell, I say this all the time. We played in different bands together. All this time, I'm playing in this band, he's playing in that band. But we're together. Times. Yeah. We're jamming at the same time. Like, I can't go to his shows because my band was playing.
Right.
He can't come to my show because his band was playing. So, there's a lot of that with our friends. And usually when you're in a local band, that's a lot of your customer base is other bands.
And you do feel kind of bad about it when you can't make the shows. But like, if I've been working and then I've been doing this other job, then when I finally get home, I'm freaking tired. But every now and then I'll make it out, and I'm like, who am I going to go see? But if I don't go see them, will they get mad? And well, should I flip a coin?
It's hard to pick the one you want to support. But that's what we were talking about last week. Rich was talking about the community, and everybody who has come on has talked about how of the community and supporting each other. And that's one of the things that drew me in. Is I was at the casino one night, and I can't remember which band was playing, but Rusty Gardner was there from Alter Ego and Patchwork, and then Rich Hall was there from Traveling Jane and Reckless, and they were all just supporting each other.
Bros, they're all like, you succeeded, awesome.
I love it. I love the community.
But see, there's that competition of, we got to put on a good show because they did. You know, we got to manage, but there is that. That's good.
Well, healthy competition.
But it's not
healthy.
I hate them. I'm going to do what I can to ruin. There's none of that.
Yes.
But I hope you succeed. Oh, you had a great show. That's so awesome, man. We got to work hard to compare to that, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, we got to do our work to keep up. You know, but that's good. That makes everybody better. It gets everybody away from mediocrity.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so needed in this.
And then with the different personalities of the different bands, the competition is not really, it's just a fun thing.
It gets to a point where the competition isn't really there. It's if it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah.
You know, that's the important part.
And I'm sorry, I apologize because I've talked way more than I expected to talk.
Good.
But what I was going to say was,
Kathy's coming out of her shell.
It's the shirt.
No, it's not the shirt. Wearing my naked cowgirls. I'm going to become a short again. What I was going to say was with with the personalities of the bands and all. We were talking earlier, like in the 80s, when you heard a band, you knew that's Van Halen, that's Motley Crue, you know. And with these local bands now, they're beginning to have their own sound.
Yeah.
And like Waking Mars.
There's nobody sounds like
nobody
that.
sounds like that.
And
really it's just like Hurricane has their sound, and Crow has their sound, and Patchwork has their sound. And it's just, I love that. So it's like the bands have personalities.
Absolutely. And that's what makes you don't want. I don't have a problem, and I do have a problem. They have and everybody knows who these people are. There's 3 or 4 bands that are all the same people, and they change out people.
Right.
They do the same stuff. I'm not dogging any. I love all of the people.
Yes.
Every individual artist in that band is a friend of mine, and I hope they live long and make good money doing that. I hope they do. It's not for me. You know, it gets to a point where, you know, I don't want to hear those songs anymore. You know, I've been hearing that for a long time. Pick another song off that album, like Brian Jones. Brian Jones is another guy that when he's playing, he does songs that everybody knows, but nobody does.
That's right. Actually, he'll pick some obscure Queensryche, and I'm like, I know that.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
He plays Maiden acoustically.
Yes, he does.
He plays Big Wreck. You're going to win me right away if you're going to play Big Wreck. I'm sold right there. Day one, you're playing Big Wreck. That's like one of my favorite bands. You know, so I mean, if you're doing that, I'm all about it. Play something that nobody plays.
Right.
Everybody plays that same. If I have to hear Collective Soul one more time, I'm gonna punch somebody. I'll be honest with you, man. That irks me. All that whole genre of stuff that, you know. It was good when it came out, but they drive it into the ground because it's the radio formula, the smallest amount of songs that appeals to the most people.
And you know, the musicians that, like the ones that I play with, we have to deal with that.
Absolutely.
Because that's what brings the crowd.
It does. And we're going like, oh my God, we got to play this crap again.
I know.
But you know what? They're dancing, so let's do it.
But that always boosts me up when I see them dancing. I can
But you know what, though? That's why, like,
It makes it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
We've had a couple of people, you know, let's say people that were like asking us to play, entertainment managers, whatever, going, hey, why don't you play funky music like funky music? I'm like, because it ain't metal. I'm going to turn the gain up. I'm going to play it. They already know the song. They're dancing. They're drunk anyway.
Yeah.
They're drunk anyway. Who gives a damn? So
this is an enhanced version of it.
It is enhanced.
We're all enhanced in the mind.
right.
We're all enhanced with the vodka.
But you also got to be fairly happy doing what you're doing.
True.
And if I'm not playing rock, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn a song that's not rock into rock. I'm going to do
right,
it.
you are.
And so there's got to be some aggression in there.
Yeah, got to.
Something.
Anarchy.
Every now and then. No, I mean, we're not
can do
doing
that too.
I know.
Dare
but
me.
But it's going to be metal. It's going to be metal. I'm sorry. I took that turn. I apologize.
No, there's always
that's great.
Think about fighting the dollar versus fighting the urge. Yeah. Write a song about that. Ha-ha.
Right now, I'm writing a song about aliens taking over the fast food restaurant.
They did it. They already did it.
Yeah,
they did it.
Wait, it's a song.
Dude.
It's going to be complete pretty soon, man.
That McDonald's ice cream machine was the first thing they attacked.
See, you're onto it now, huh?
I already know, dude.
You already know, man. We're ruined.
It was not a conspiracy. It was
The
real.
the first sign that the end of the world is coming is McDonald's ice cream machine breaking.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
That's the first sign.
We've seen
They fixed it
Transformers.
yet?
Nope.
People get what happened. Guy got cream. That's what happens. Happens all the time. What movie?
Oh,
come on, Maximum Overdrive.
I haven't seen that in years.
I know, right? But it's a classic.
My favorite part of that one was like when the guy got shot in the nuts with that Coke can.
Yeah,
that was great.
And then that was the kid, but the guy got run over by the truck.
Oh, that was even better.
What happened to the guy? He got cream. That's what happened.
Was Emilio Estevez in that movie?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Estevez.
Emilio Estevez.
I had a huge crush on him when I was a
Men
teenager.
at Work is one of my favorite movies.
Oh my
of all
gosh.
time. So I love
Emilio was my
I'm gonna
man.
go watch that movie now.
It's great.
I'm going
I
to.
hate cops.
Well, Eric,
Brian
you posted on Facebook the other day that you were going to be on the show.
You're still on Facebook?
He is. He's not in
allowed
Facebook
me.
jail.
They did allow me.
There's a lot of people we got to talk about that have commented on your post.
Oh shit!
So I'm looking at it right now. All right,
they're all bastards. Every last one of them.
They're like, don't you mention me?
Don't.
Which means
Jacob Justin Lee King.
Yeah.
So he gets it right out. I told him he was first. So I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
If you wanna
Jacob's
go,
cool.
Man, you go see him live. He's got a real unique sound, and he's another guy that I'm gonna beat up if he doesn't let me come and play music for him. Because I said, dude, everything he does, I got sick bass lines to go on. I tell him all the time, let me come in the studio with you, man. Come on, dude. We'll do that. We'll lay that all down, and it'll be number one right away.
Yeah, his exact words were, "Keep my name out your mouth."
Out your mouth.
He's gonna make a record with me soon. I guarantee it. Even if I have to get a van and
then you got Travis Burnett.
Oh yeah. I used to work with Trav. That's dead meat. I'm dog meat. That's dead meat. We're red team.
Yeah, he's like
Halo, red team, Halo. Go red team.
Yeah, he's like, you mean to tell me that some people actually want to hear you or hear what you have to say?
Yeah, that's surprising, isn't it? Yeah.
And of course, Melissa.
Oh, I love Mel.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
This will be good.
She was there when I got fired for WPVP. She knows all about my radio history. So I tried to get this thing going with Brian Jones had a podcast. And I hate to spill this, but I got to tell the story because it's important.
Well, Brian Jones will be on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, he'll tell the other half. Yeah. So he's so cool. He's so kind. Eric, you want to do your podcast, man? Come on, do it on my show, man. Come on, I'll set it all up. I'll be the host and let you run it and interview anybody that you want. I was setting it up, My first guest, Murph Caicedo. Guess what happens?
What happened?
He shows up drunk.
Oh.
And so he drinks about 3 or 4 beers while he's there and throws beers in the beer can. This is just Murph, though. It's just I love the guy, even though this is him. And so he gets in there and man, I'm trying to lead him into stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, man, this is how we did things back in the day, man." And I was like, and Brian's trying his hardest. Yeah, but tell us about this. He's trying to help me out. To him, man. And so after this was over, and he even said shit on the air, and this is WPVP.
Yeah.
And this is the pirate station, real conservative, very, very church-going conservatives. That was the last show that dude was doing. I was like, damn it, it's my fault, man. I came and ruined dude's podcast, just storming in. Hey, I come in here. I'll help. Let me help. Oh, I caught the place on fire? What happened? I'm sorry I burned your house to the ground. All I was doing is trying to turn the heat on. That's pretty much the way I did to his show. Just up in flames, and I apologize that. But, I was trying to get the same energy going on as this podcast, because that's what I was trying to do, is talk to my local. I wanted to have my local heroes on.
Yeah.
Some of these people that I've looked up to over the years, even some of them I don't even know. I was going to go hit him up. Hey, dude, I've been watching you for years. Would you come on my show? And it was Zach Dickerson. Who's blowing up in Nashville. I asked him, and he was like, "Dude, I'm in town this week. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And that dude's gold too, man. Good. That Dickerson family is, man. They've raised a bunch of. They put something in their water and came up with some musicians from hell in that family, man. That's awesome. So they're some of my favorite people too. And I wanted to get him on the show and do something, and business owners or something. I love local business. I want people to succeed. If you got something going on, let's share it all.
Yeah.
You know, I got a t-shirt company, Sweet Tea by Renee. Come get some t-shirts. I'll make you some old man of t-shirts if you're in my new band. I make all that stuff, which is, you know, I got to talk about the new band, but I don't want to expose too much of the
right, because it's new.
We have naked animals in the band, and it's kind of a secret.
And by the way, we're open for advertisers.
Yeah, hey, look, yeah, definitely. We will definitely get you up in here, and we'll take your money.
All right, Michael Sullivan, you better say his name.
Oh, Michael Sullivan. Look, this is Obliteration. This is back in 90s, mid-90s, 97. I don't remember, but it was, the Sepultura was real big. And
oh, yeah, I remember them.
And he's got this, and he's still got the kit, Michael Sullivan does. He's got this, it's a Mobro kit. And it's got this, it looks like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. Big pole, you know, and everything's like big futuristic.
That's cool.
And he's one of those, you know, with the blast feet, you know, we were playing some really heavy stuff, you know. And there's one of the best shows I've ever played. And this reminded me of watching Waking Mars earlier with a UFC fight going on in the background, which is really horrible. I don't want to see the UFC. Some guy's crotch right above Josh Journey's head. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to look at dude, you know, I don't want to see dude. You know what I mean? Like, God bless America. So, but this happened. We were at Tal's Dart Bar in Hattiesburg, man. And this is Obliteration. We're playing Sepultura propaganda, you know, and stuff like that. And we get there and they say, well, yeah, man, Tyson fights on tonight. And we've paid for it.
Oh, no.
And so we have to watch it before you can play. So we got up there, and it's like the fight starts, and we go and start turning our stuff up, tuning and stuff. We're standing on stage while the first bout comes on, and it's two women. Best fight I've ever seen in my life. It was 15 rounds of brutal hell and mayhem. These women beating each other, and it was great. So one of them was like, wow, that was great. And they got off, and the next day they did the big pageantry with Tyson comes down the ramp. And he's out doing his little boxing thing. We're standing on stage with our equipment on, you know, we're ready. So he gets in there, and 9 seconds into the fight, it's over. And as soon as the guy hits the ground, we go, and we were gone, man. And so it was like, people were like, they got scared, you know, the people at the bar, because they weren't expecting the metal band to start up as soon as the dude hits the head to hit the mat. Bang, he's going to sleep. Yeah, we're going, you know, it was so much fun. But that was the stupidest thing I've ever had to deal with in playing live. But everybody was mad. Stuff at first, and then they were like, man, this sets the mood.
Yeah, if they're angry.
Let's fight somebody. Yeah.
Heavy metal is great for anger.
It's wonderful. Hey, we played a bunch of stuff, and everybody, Kevin knows about this, the Capitol Station Live. You know about Kevin.
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, man.
Inform me.
So we in the
before my time, probably.
I think probably so. This is 92, 93.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
They got Midnight Sun. You remember Midnight Sun?
I do, actually. I remember that. Yeah.
So down the street from Midnight Sun, right before the railroad tracks, was the Illinois Central building. Mm-hmm. So we had the room above the front door. So we had the prime room, Dysfunctional did. And for
I'd forgotten all about this place.
Oh, man, for two.
We were in there. Yeah, we were in there.
Halloweens and 2 New Year's Eves, we had that room. And the Midnight Sun was kicking so bad, they couldn't allow people to get in because they had reached capacity. So all these people were standing in the parking lot across the street. And we would stand up in the window and go, hey, you guy, yeah, come on up here. Your girlfriend, come on, you know. I was married at the time, but still, the other guys need girls, so tell them to come up. So we would have a big party up there above the room. And so this happened repeatedly to where people were coming and wanting to come into Capitol Station more than they were wanting to go down to Midnight Sun. So someone got the idea, put a big stage out here for some live bands. And so they made our room into an actual venue.
That's awesome.
And there was a bunch of
that's when
Southern
you're influencing folks, yeah.
Charade, or they turned to Southern grunge. Right. It was from Charade to Southern grunge and some other really, really infamous bands of the day.
Yeah, my band was in one of them rooms.
Yeah,
we were called Ash Wednesday.
Oh, that's where I know you. Ash Wednesday. Okay. Yep. Didn't Kevin Johnson play for that?
He was with us for a little while.
Yeah, see, he was in Jack the Mothership with him. I was in.
Oh, that's a cool
It
name.
is a cool name.
Jack, he was a computer guy.
Yeah.
And they call it Jack the Mothership when the server got hacked. And so that's called jacking the mothership. Someone jacked the mothership. Oh, so we went with that. Yeah, that was cool. It was real techno, real kind of almost ministry type music. It was a very interesting time. We had a place in the Plaza building on the 5th floor, and I believe the governor made us move because we would play with the window open. And I know I could look at the governor's lawn. If he came out on his backyard, I could see the governor's mansion. We were that close, and we were so loud. And that was one of the best jam rooms I've ever had, I'll be honest with you, man. 5th floor of the Capitol building on Congress Street, man. It was awesome. Best room ever. And the craziness that happened in that area with so many bands, and there's all these people like Kevin Johnson. That was
God, whatever happened to him?
He married a girl and moved to Oxford, and he was actually, that dude wrote some serious wireless code.
Oh wow!
He's one of the dudes that was working on all. Like when you're driving down the street and you're trying to get your cell phone to get from one tower to another tower. He wrote all that.
Oh,
so
wow.
He got pretty big in the computer world. So he was the guy. Music was nothing to him. I'm done. Bye.
Yeah.
And so we all did the music thing without him. And I remember from that. I think that's where I remember Kevin from, was from Ash Wednesday, because I remember Kevin Johnson from that. But
yeah.
We played, and then we moved on. The same singer, Jason Rosa, in that band as in Dysfunctional. And then he followed me with Hedge, me, Hugh, and Jason, Hugh Little, and Jason Rosa. We did a 3-piece, and that was the first time. That's where Obliteration got me, from that band. And I just went from one band to the other back in the days, man. Like Rich Hall was saying the other day about the 80s, about you better know your shit or get your head cut. someone take your job, man. Yeah. There's a lot of places where, you got that bass player hanging out with everybody. Oh, he's just a friend. That guy's after your job, dude.
I think it's real interesting. It's real interesting to talk about how it was, because all of us, me, Russ, and you, we were around back in those days. Well, no, Russ, I guess you actually was.
I was a little nard. I wasn't, I
still consider you old school. You're still old school.
Yeah.
Well, I started in diapers playing, so there it is.
Yeah, but me and Eric, we were there, in the 80s doing this stuff.
And I kind of wish that I would have been able to experience that. It would have been fun.
Well, like I said in the last podcast, what you heard, it was all true.
Well, here's the thing that I think I missed. It was the intensity, and I kind of sometimes want to bring that intensity back, but sometimes it's not there,
right?
And you want to be
it's important that it has to be,
find somebody that's got the same intensity that you have,
matches your level, sure,
kind of, and then it might be, and I think they had that back then. I think, like you're talking about the friendly competition or the cutthroat competition, whatever you want to call it. If you didn't do it right, because I can remember, playing in front of a few older guys, and they're like, that sucked. You're never going to be anything.
Man, there was a lot of arms folded back in them.
Yeah. Just like,
I was one of them.
Just like,
I did too.
Just like the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Yeah, that blew me away. I was like, what the hell? Anyway.
What?
Yeah, I was so confused. But anyway, it's another story for another time.
You have to go back to Russ's episode.
It was weird. We'll tell you later.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had to be
Or you can go back and watch the episode that Russ was on.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But I've never been that confused in my life. I mean, like I can figure most things out pretty well, but that I was like, I'm so confused and stumped.
What are we talking about? What happened?
Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, that intensity. It's like I think they had it in the 80s.
Yeah, they did.
And it's like you would go mess with any of those guys. I mean, they may have had all the hairspray, but they'd still kick your ass at the same time.
Yeah,
dude. I got pictures of me with that hairspray. I kept Aquanet in business, man. Me and my wife, man.
I did too.
Shit, back in the 80s. But see, here's the thing. In the 80s, when our first apartment in 85, 86, me and my wife, our roommate was Laura Snow, Ronnie Snow's wife. Ronnie Snow from Hagen.
Yeah.
This dude is like gold to me.
Yeah, he's
this
phenomenal.
Dude, he sat in my living room with me and showed me so much stuff that I still do today. And we played for hours, and we would just lock in and play and woodshed and woodshed and woodshed. And that was a huge time in life. I still I'd love to see the guy because I owe him so much for what he taught me. You know, he really raised my game is what he did.
That's awesome.
He really did. Thank you so much. But I'll be honest with you. The people through the years that I've played with, they keep getting better. And there's this new animal. You know, you're one of these new animals that came out. Terry, you, Tony Henson, all these shredder guys. Here's a new guy, Levi Culpepper.
Oh, yeah.
Levi's great.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Dude's a fucking great guitar.
He's really good.
Well, I wanted to ask him too, but I never did get a reply. So I'm
sorry I couldn't help. I'm just busy on the time thing.
Dude, man. I know you're busy, dude. I know you're busy.
Russ is always working.
I'm gonna
wait for him to get fired from music. He get fired or retire. Like, do something, man. You're doing something all the time. Why don't you get fired, man? Come on.
Have we all been fired from a band? I have.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
How many times? Oh, brutally.
It's just part of the go.
Yeah, dude, look, I just wanted to tell you, man, you got some really good ideas, but it's just not working.
It's not working out.
We're not going to do all of that stuff that you got that you were thinking that you were going to. No, we're not going to do any of that, man. We're not gonna,
I got a story.
You can stay in the band, but we're not doing any of your stuff.
So I've only tried out for one country band.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Why? That's my first question.
Was it Santa Fe?
No. I can't even remember the name of it, but the reason was there wasn't much going on at the time, and they were pulling some pretty good crowds. And I was like, I'm playing some bigger crowds. So I went in there and and I was like, my amp's set to metal, and I mean, yeah. And they're like, do you know the songs? I was like, I know the songs, and they're like, well, go ahead, and I played them, and they were like, ooh, hell, well, you know what? You're going to have to change that sound a little bit. You're hitting all the notes and da-da-da-da. And then this guy come in. Yeah, I was like, all right. So then, like, right after me, this guy come in with his girlfriend, and she was like half of her head was shaved, and he was like, bitch, get in here, blah, blah, blah. And then he played all the Johnny Cash stuff, and he had it just right. And they're like, man, he's our guy. And then they called me back a week later and said, man, we can't deal with him when you come back. I was like, hell no. Hell no.
Blue-haired guy with his girlfriend. She's all trying to sell or buy heroin from everybody in the band.
I mean, you could tell that this guy was like, and he had the amp set right. He sounded just like the Johnny Cash sound, and that was what they wanted. And, the metal wasn't it. But exactly. But hey, have you ever played that song with the distortion on?
Oh, yeah.
I have.
Well, look, me and Chad Wesley, I have this one bass thing. It's a real funky tune. Mm-hmm. And so one day Chad was listening to it, and he started ripping down Folsom Prison Blues over the top of it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, holy shit. And it was the bad, and there was and we did, it was somebody's tribute at Hideaway, and it was me, Chad Wesley, and Shane freaking Turnage doing this song. And My Way, and it was one of the most brutal things that I was like, oh, dude. And then the video disappeared, and I was like, oh no. My God, this is the coolest shit ever.
So some of that Johnny Cash stuff, if you actually go back and listen to the lyrics, he was a sick man.
That's a hard motherfucker, bro.
I've told everybody, I was like, look, I want to do cocaine blues, but I want to do a metal version of it or a rock version of it.
Sunday morning coming down, but doom metal.
Yeah. The only thing is like that's got like 50 verses to that song, so we'd have to pick like 2 or 3 of the best, But anyway,
everybody gets the message. Everybody gets the message. They know where you've been. So I was at the dock one time, and I was doing a Jerky Boys bit. I was like, "Oh yes, call me. My name is Racine. Oh yes, you hear that? That's my ass." He's doing all this. So I was doing all this shit, and this girl, she just totally thought I was for real. She thought, oh hey, I love fag hags. My wife calls herself as fag hag, so because she loves gay guys, and so this girl was taking the opportunity to say, "I got me a gay friend." I was like, "What's up, girl? What's up, girl?" I had that little drool in the corner of my mouth, and she said, "Oh no, he's got gay. Let me think." I was like, "I'm doing a bit. You can't do a bit." And I heard this comedian say, "You know why gay guys talk like this? Because it's fucking funny." So I was like, that's the truth, man. That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So Jerky Boys, I will always always be a fool for Jerky Boys.
Whatever happened to them?
They got too big. Well, first of all, caller ID ruined them. Caller ID destroyed their ability. So when caller ID came out, they switched it. They started putting...
It destroyed pranks for everybody.
But this is what they started...
we used to do them.
Reversing them. They put an ad in the paper for like a chainsaw or lawn equipment. And people would call and go, what you want over there, man? You want something you ride on or something you pull a push? You know, you're talking about a mower. You know what I paid for that? I paid shit for that, motherfucker. So, he's talking to this, people on the phone calling and saying, what the hell? And so they got in trouble, and see the police started calling these ads to try to catch them. And one time he answered, he goes, hello, and he goes, yeah, I was calling about the chainsaw for sale. And goes, ooh, I smell bacon. Does someone sell bacon? Because it's cops calling. So they hung up. So that was pretty much the end of all Jerky Boys is their final. You can't do anything now. They got video of you calling, trying to prank something.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm on video? God damn. I know that you're a white guy, and I can see that you're clearly not a gay little old lady or something like that. So you can't get away with anything now. It's the whole.
It just took all the fun out of it, didn't
Man, they killed it.
I love prank calls,
man. I loved it too. I used to do it all the time, man. I called my wife. She works at a drugstore.
And do that, man. Just look up people.
I can't do it to my wife because she knows who I am. But when her unsuspecting coworkers answer the phone, she works at a drugstore. I go, yeah, I'd like to buy some drugs. Drugs. I hear you sell drugs there. And they're going, maybe you need to see a doctor.
Oh God! Like Trent Lewis used to work at what's the Lakeland Music, and I can't say but we used to prank call that place all the time, man. And he would be in there, he'd be on his phone, like, call him, and I'm gonna sit here and watch the whole thing, and then we would have them freaking out, and they'd be like, anyway, I can't say
Johnny Two-Tone from the B Sharps. Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could buy an R string. You have the R strings in stock? Need an R string. The key R. Everybody plays in the country key, man. Key R.
Well, we got them worse than that.
Yeah, I'm just winging it, Bill. Winging it. If you give me an hour to write something, I'll come up with something way better. Trust me. It's just you got me on the edge of my seat here, man. You got to keep. They feed you alcohol and then try to trip you up with these questions. It's evil, is what it is.
That's what Billy said.
It's terrible.
We haven't even asked any questions. You've just been really
this is the problem.
You're just shooting the shit.
It's your fault.
It's always my fault.
Do you know if you had Billy and him together?
Oh my goodness.
There would be so much camera switching.
No, that would just be one camera. We're just going to one shot.
Billy, actually, I kind of missed it. Clayton was busy, and Billy was looking for a fill-in. And man, I had so much going on, like and that's a band that I would have gone and played with in a heartbeat.
Right.
And so I didn't get a chance to. And I think it's a good thing because me and Billy would have just destroyed the planet. We'd have destroyed the planet, man. They'd have no hope. But
if y'all ever get in a band together, you need definitely call it. Well, can't call it Mayhem, or can you? I don't know, but you should.
Mayhem's a good band. Good punk band. Yeah, good punk band. Yeah. So that's back in the day, dude. Yeah, I love me some punk too, but there's a point where punk became metal.
Yeah.
It's Slayer. Yeah. Slayer is a good example of Slayer was in a very large in a punk world.
So wait, what about early Crew? What do you call that? What is that?
Early Crew was a fabrication of stuff like Alice Cooper and David Bowie.
They were Bowie thing.
Yeah.
They were trying to go and with the makeup. They didn't want to be Kiss. They didn't want to put be different characters. They just wanted to be cool looking, And they had some average rock stuff. Mick Mars was the secret of that band.
He came absolutely, man.
Everybody else sucked, but Mick Mars was the shit.
The two people in there that actually were the musicians was Mick Mars and Tommy.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they were.
The rest were for looks, and they did their job, I guess. But the thing is, when you're a 19, 20-year-old bass player and you're doing all this Billy Sheehan shit, let me see if I can get this dude. And you're trying to get it, and then you look at the Bass Player magazine and they vote Nick Six the Bass Player of the Year. And it's like, God damn, that dude, is that what I gotta do? I gotta look like an Asian hooker to get Bass Player of the Year?
Hey, somebody wrote a song with that name.
Steel Panther.
Asian hooker.
My favorite.
Yeah, you know that's life in rock and roll, though, man. You're gonna come up with
his contribution, Nick Six, he was the brains behind and
the hype.
Yeah, and he was also one of those guys that had the vision, and so the musicians just took that vision and kind of went with it.
It worked. Yeah, it worked. Fucking worked. Yeah, man, it's huge, man. It's theatrics, dude. It's show business. They nailed every bit of that perfectly.
And that's part of like when we play, we'll struggle with, hey, what are we going to do today? Are we gonna put on the show? Are we going to sell? Are we going to play what we want to play? So we'll sneak a song in every now and then, such as like Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
And then the crowd goes boop and goes away, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay. Well, now we got to go back to funky music. Everybody be back out there.
I like doing this. Is my thing though. I would take Mr. Crowley and make it funk. I would. Mr. Crowley, do a little slap bass to it, you know, a little do the line, you know.
That would work,
dude.
In the drunk set when everybody's wasted.
You know, the drunk set. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like third set.
Third set, yeah.
Third setting up.
The call up set where you call up you dudes because you're too drunk to play, but you can call your boy up because you know he knows the songs, and you're going to take a break for 5 seconds and let him play so you can get another drink.
Yeah.
I think I'm out of a drink. I think I'll take another. So sorry.
No, that's exactly right, though. That's how it works.
That is exactly how it works. But when you this is the club thing and playing the circuit, in which I've done a lot of time, and it never pays to drink when you do it because it gets worse and worse. So, you know, I always waited to the middle of the second set. If we do 3-4 sets, I'd wait to the middle of the second set and then I'd start drinking.
Yeah.
So I was nice at the end of it. Nice and toasty. You're not too drunk to play, but you got the nice buzz on and everything going and you're ready to get, you know, cooled out after the show. That's the best time of it. But that, you know, now I don't really drink. I'm having a beverage to celebrate this awesomeness that's going on, definitely. But I'm not really a drinker.
I don't drink either,
especially when I'm playing. You know, I like to be. I take a drink of beer and my timing goes beep 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 right out the window. You know, what's that one? Which comes after one?
Yeah,
4, 3, 8.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, and so I try not to do that. You know, it's basically for my own because I like my music to be sharp. You know, I really, really do want to present a package that someone's going to say that's the sharpest I've ever seen. You know, if I don't like the music, I know y'all practiced. Y'all are so sharp together. You know, who was it? Once We Were Saints. Mm-hmm. We weren't real technical band. We played a lot of Bob Dylan and stuff. But people came to see us and they said, you know, we can tell y'all practice a lot.
Yeah.
And we did because we were sharp, you know, everything is real crisp and tight. Yeah, everything really moves well together. And y'all aren't really doing shred, but everything that y'all are doing is right on point.
Yeah.
And that felt really good. And I like that. I like being sharp in the band. And this new band that I've got it means something to me. This is the most ambitious thing that I've done in at least a decade, if not ever. And it's Jared Parker and Dusty Parker. They're the Parker brothers, I call them. They have come up with some of my favorite music, and I'm really hyped about it. And I'm hyping it up in here. I don't care. I don't care what they say. Don't say nothing because we're trying to have a product first, and which I agree with.
Yeah.
But I'll be here
to put a buzz out there.
Yeah, look, just a little bit of
this is important to me because it means this much.
The
music means this much to me. I felt the music the first time I heard it, man. It spoke to something in my soul. You know, it was Incubus meets Deftones meets fucking, you know, Alice in Chains meets some heavier stuff. But it's got all these flavors that you like, you know, and there's just something that spoke to me, and I think it's going to be something extra special. And
I'm excited. I'm super excited.
I got the band for it. So, you know, maybe Kevin will do something for us here.
Man,
I look forward to seeing it.
I've got this urge to do there's a lot of people right now going back to the original stuff. There's a lot of people moving back towards that. And I'm trying to, like, if I can ever get some time, but I would love, I've told Kevin over and over, I would love to redo that No Lesser Beauty album. I don't know if you ever heard it. Did you ever hear that?
I got a fucking shirt. I still have a No Lesser.
Did we sell you a shirt?
That is awesome.
No, that's awesome.
You did not sell me a shirt.
I gave you a shirt.
I walked up to you and said, nah. I need a shirt, bro.
Russ, did you take your shirt off?
This is what I said.
I showed
if
him my
you
boobies.
give me a shirt, I'll wear it on stage tonight because we were playing later on in the evening.
Yeah.
That's
And he
right.
said, "Oh hell yeah, here you go." And I wore that No Lesser Beauty shirt. Bow, bow, bow. And so I forget that that's you. That was one of my favorite fucking records, dude. That was a great record. That No Lesser Beauty record I had.
Yeah.
Great record.
You know, the crazy thing, mentioning Barfield. All right. So Barfield is, this.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
bud.
yeah,
I love you,
just
bud.
passed away.
Love you.
But he's this upper level guitar player, right?
Yes, he
I mean, he was just really good. And so he calls me up and he goes, "Hey, man, what were those licks you were playing on that song, man? On that Strip It Down, man? I can't figure out what you were doing on there." I was like, "I don't know. I was just ripping in the fucking key of blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I was
Moving
doing."
my fingers
Yeah, I was
fast.
just moving my fingers. I was trying to stand, And he was like, "Yeah, but I mean, you didn't have but I mean, what were you doing?" I mean, he was just trying to dissect it, and he was always like that. And so he
would pick it apart and have it down in no time.
Yes,
He was like our local Paul Gilbert
he was.
Right.
He was. In fact,
and had the fingers
he had Paul Gilbert's got those fingers that are
10 inches long.
Yeah, his fingers are like this.
Ever since the 90s, I'd see him
Nephilim
every now and then,
fingers.
and he'd bother me. "Hey, bro, when we gonna do something? When we gonna do something?" And I was like, "Man, dude, I definitely want to do something with you." And then, he passed before we could really. And that kills me, man.
I know.
That
I
kills
was
me.
like, when they said
Another
that, I was
musician,
like,
I didn't.
what in the heck? Anyway.
Yeah.
And it's so sad now that we're getting to that age where it's like a lot of our
Contemporaries and heroes,
and people that we just love.
But that's why
are
I'm playing
passing.
music. I'm playing music because that's one thing I like to do.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to continue to do what I like to do until I just
Can't do it.
Yep. That's it.
right.
It got to the point where you can let it consume you. As when I was a younger man, I got to be a rock star. And then it got to a point of where I wanted to just do music that satisfied me.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got to a point where I want to play a song that my mama went, "I love that song. That's
Yep.
my favorite
Yep,
song."
yep. I've done that too.
And then it moved on to something else. It always changes. As an artist, this. Your songs are never finished. You're always going to change it. I wrote some stuff back in the 80s that I bring back today, and I've changed it completely because of where I'm at,
Right.
and who I am now. It's totally
Right.
different, And so everything in life is like that, going through all of this. Art is absolutely wherever you're at now. At your age, that's where your art is going to reflect.
Well, most of us musicians will resort to it for a getaway place,
Right.
or a happy place.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm doing that and I'm happy doing it, I'm going to continue to do it because work is not necessarily always happy.
Nope.
But you got to do it.
You got to put the work in.
Yeah, you got to put the work in
for the product.
For the product.
end product.
But
if you do that,
I
it'll
don't mind
shine.
working at the music.
Me neither.
I mean, so as long as it's producing a happy place and space,
I don't get
I'm good
paid
with
to
it.
play music. I get paid to move equipment.
That's
That's
exactly
right.
right.
there you go. That's true.
I love
Yeah.
playing music. I mean, you got me a setup right there, man. Give me lunch and a beer. I'll come and play all day long, man. Shoot, keep me fed. As long as I don't have to move that equipment.
The thing about musicians, man, we're all a little different.
True.
Different. We're just different. You know what I mean? And
Musically and personally.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
thinking our mindset is different.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're not, I was out of music for quite a few years, but I needed to be back in it
Yes,
in
sir.
some capacity.
And so does people that like to hear you play. We all feel that way too. Why are you gone for the music? Man,
Right.
well, you're taking something from us as well as yourself. Because when I walk into a club and Kevin Williams playing on the guitar up there, man, he's doing something. Man, I'm going to go to the front of the stage.
Right.
I'm going right up there and say, "Oh, hell
But here's the funny thing. I'm just as happy either on a stage or behind the mixing console.
Not
You know, even
I actually like the stage. That's why
me
we're
too.
different, but I like the stage.
I love the stage.
I feel the creativity even when it's not my music. If it's somebody else's music I'm recording,
Well, that's true.
and mixing.
Good point.
I still feel creative.
He does, because when we were doing the No Lesser Beauty thing, he's like, "Hey, I can hear an acoustic part in there. Can I play on it? We're like, yeah, come on in. And
Show us what you
this
got.
little acoustic part he put in there. Yeah. And that was Kevin that did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember asking to play on it. But
I don't know if you asked or not. I mean,
here and see if y'all like it.
You would have been like, that would have been Jeremy. You would have either said that to or whatever, but it got on the album and it
I
was
forgot
good.
that was you, man. That was y'all were a really good band.
Well,
I mean,
I got to say that so they had another album before, and it was more like Dream Theater, and I was like, I like it, but
I like this stuff. It was kind of almost commercial. You got a little hooks in it.
They I'm not going to say it was me, but they brought me in. They're like, you're an older guy. I was like, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that first. And they were like 19 and 20.
Aye.
And they're like, what would you do to change it? I was like, if you want to reach people, you got to reach people. Not everybody thinks on the level of a musician, because we're thinking about how can you hone your skill better, and then by the next thing you know is that you are playing too fast for somebody to even comprehend.
Too many notes.
we have a tendency to want to complicate things.
That's
Yeah.
right, exactly. And so I was like, let's make it just rock and roll, kind of like Nikki Sixx did, and then people can comprehend it, and then they might like it, and it turned out pretty good.
Well, this is my formula for music, and this is always Van Halen, Zeppelin, Doors. These are all bands that people said, if you do this music, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
This is awful stuff. This is the worst of the worst you're doing, and it's going to cost you. And they said, we don't care. We love this music, and we're putting it out. And if the people come to us, that's fine.
Right.
We're not going to force people. They have the formula. Now you have to, it draws people in. They like this very mediocre section of musicality. You have to stay within here if you want to sell. And so people like who I mentioned, they're saying, no, we're going to do what we want. And if people come to us, that's
right.
it.
Right.
That's the way we want it. And if we don't, fuck it. We're having a good time. We're going to get really wasted and play a bunch of music. Man.
So do you know who the band that I looked to that really broke the mold and put the middle finger to the music industry was Iron Maiden?
Fucking right.
They are never played on the radio, but they sell out arenas, stadiums, everything.
That's right.
And they just kept with the
You've got 300,000 Brazilians that speak zero English. Brazilians singing every lyric to a Maiden song.
Right.
In perfect English. They know that stuff. 300,000 people in this giant stadium. And it's like, what? And these people love me. It's Maiden.
That's right.
It's freaking Maiden, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And I've been a fan of theirs forever.
Me too, bro. Me too. Still
I
love
became a big fan on Number of the Beast. That was my big one.
Yeah, well, Paul Di'Anno just left, and the Killers is great. It's got some. And what I like is when you hear Bruce Dickinson doing all of those old Paul Di'Anno songs, and they're just 10 times even better, man.
Yeah, I mean that guy was good, but man, Bruce Dickinson,
come on, bro.
I know he took it over the top.
Night and day, man, night and day.
And he can fly an airplane.
That came later.
Some of these people are like Brian May. This dude's a physicist, Right.
That's
The
right.
people wrote the math that put people on Mars, and put the rover on Mars. And what the fuck? These are,
But he'd rather play rock and roll.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But didn't he do some kind of stuff to his amp to make it sound? Didn't he rewire it or something?
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody goes in and experiments. Frankenstein, that they had a dude. I forget who it was. It was somebody for a pedal company that said, I'll give you $5,000 to this one photographer if you take a picture of Eddie Van Halen's pedal board. And so he said, all right. And he went and took pictures of the pedal board. And the guy was like, all right, fuck yeah, I got Eddie Van Halen's sound. Blah, blah. And he went and put it up. What he didn't realize is Eddie Van Halen takes the covers off of the MXRs and the other, and he switches them around. And after he Frankensteins them all, he'll go and do his own electronics and then put the different lids on. And people say, and it's just like the guy who buys the Stevie Ray Vaughan Fender. And the Fender amp and all of Stevie Ray Vaughan's pedals and his hybrid strings, and says, "Why can't I get his sound?"
But it's all the way. But it's all the way down to the fingers.
Exactly.
Did you see the interview that Nuno did?
I was going to mention that.
Good God,
he
got to play on that.
He got to play on Eddie's rig, and he was like, "Did you sound like Eddie Van Halen?" He goes, "No, I sounded like me."
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah,
it's here.
I mean, you can modify,
sure,
but this is really where it comes down to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will never sound. I'll go play on Billy Sheehan's rig. I'm not going to sound like him, dude.
Right.
I'm going to sound horrific. I'm going to sound like someone kicked his bass rig down a stairwell. That's what it's going to sound like,
don't
dude.
say that.
This is Billy Sheehan.
Those kind of musicians, I mean, they can play on the shittiest stuff and they're going to sound good.
You know, I actually got to talk to him online some, and he was like,
He's pretty.
Yeah,
Billy Sheehan, yeah.
He was nice to me, but he,
Bass players are pretty.
well, I was like, hey, what about tell me about the tapping techniques, the blah blah blah. He said it is purely in technique. He said the pedals, you can do all that crap you want. He said, but he goes, I've got guys that will take an acoustic guitar that are so precise and it's set up correctly, the guitar,
Sure.
and as long as they're precise and the guitar set up correctly and their technique is good, it'll be clear, it'll be clean, and just 100% sounding great. And you will never know.
And it's all in your hand.
It is.
your hand, dude.
It is.
It is.
You're not going to come up with your own sound. And that's the point where I read something small when I was younger. It really just a small bit of advice from Charles Mingus, bass player.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you can do all this, do all the shredding you want to do, but if you can't make the bass sound good, because these are upright guys. These are guys playing where you have to have your hands in a certain position to make it get the full sound out of the note. So if you can't make it sound good, just one note, you might as well not be playing. So I went back to my playing and see each note individually how good I'm hitting it, and I was like, I really am an awful bass. My realization of how bad of a bass player. Let me explain to you. People talk to Clayton Pell came up to me with Patrick Dickerson, and they said, "Oh yeah, you go show." So they were making fun of me because people talk about I don't understand, but they talk I'm a certain level of bass player, and so you go scare some people, and I was like, yeah. As soon as I start playing, they're all gonna leave. I don't know, and that was one of the first times that it really affected me that people thought I was a decent bass player. I still don't see it. I'm making shit up. Really, I'll be honest with you. I'm faking every bit of it. I sound good, but I fake every bit of it. I act like I know what I'm doing, and I just hit shit automatically. And
fake it till you make it.
Fake it. And this is what I've been doing for 30 years playing the bass, And so I really do, like Obliteration, when I was playing with them, we were playing this outdoor gig, and I was just, we were playing Saboteur and stuff, and our own music was, and I was just doing like this, And as these fingers were with the double kick, and I was right on money with that. But this fingers, I was playing with Kerry King solos, for Slayer. Just it doesn't matter where you are, you just play. You play wherever. Here you can play. It doesn't matter. There's no melodic scale that you're playing.
You've got the chromatics to deal with, so you're clear.
I'm just moving these fingers.
Just go back to the root note every now and then.
I was playing like that, and this guy came up to me after, dude, man, that was the sickest shit I've ever seen, man. Holy shit, I ain't never seen bass playing like that. I was like, thank you, dude. I was just making shit up, just moving my fingers,
improv.
Bro. And Michael Sullivan, the drummer, he said at the time, as long as this hand is with my kick and my snare and everything's on time,
that's what the commoners hear.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what this is.
That's right.
There's a video by Victor Wooten. He's got a little groove track going in the background. He goes, "Which note is wrong?" And he played boom, 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 boom. Every note up to the thing, because none of them are wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You've got the chromatics here, but at the same, you've got desirable. But none of it's really incorrect. None of it, unless you just make it.
If you're feeling it, it shows to people, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to. I want to see you feeling it. I want to see you. If I see a player and he's jacking up a bunch and he slips off the keyboard, the fretboard a little bit, and he makes a little wrong note and stuff, but he's got that feel and a passion and a flavor in it. I'm all about that. Oh, I love that. Especially if you're trying to be something a little different. You're trying to go in a different direction, trying to explore what you can do live and get away with. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
That's my player right there. I love an improv guy. I love somebody that takes chances. I like someone that stops in the middle of a show and plays some obscure song you never heard about, but it gets everybody going. I love that shit, man. It's something different that's not mediocre. Fuck mediocrity. Mediocrity. Fuck mediocrity. That's my motto. I'm gonna put that on my gravestone, man. Fuck mediocrity.
That's a Gen X thing too.
Right?
Gen X.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Fuck mediocrity.
Hello.
Raise above. Raise yourself up. Come on.
Yeah.
Push to the next level.
Yeah.
Take some hurt upon yourself, and it makes you better. It makes you perform better. This is how I got good at the instrument that I'm on now. Is I always. At first, my sister was in band, and she had all these musician friends, and they were all badasses. Mm-hmm. So I was always surrounded by people that were a lot better than me. So I had to either fake it or really do the work to catch up. So a lot of it I faked, and a lot of it I really did do the work to catch up. But they always made me pursue being better than I was. You're your competition. He's not my competition. I'm not trying to outplay
be better
him.
than yourself. Exactly.
I'm trying to be better than myself the way I was. I critique my own playing. I just rabidly go listen to stuff that I've done. Oh, you're awful. Your continuity is awful. Your transitioning is awful.
That sounds like me watching my own stuff or listening.
Right. And I think every artist has that. I mean, you really do.
We're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, as a bass player, it's fun because I can hide. There's so much massively horrific bass playing on the Redneck Trucker Loaded Goat album, but it's one of my favorite.
Loaded Goat.
It's from the Andy Griffith. The goat that ate the dynamite, the loaded goat. So that's where they got it from. But the Redneck. This is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life because they got Kent Bruce at Malico to do after hours recording of our. They were sneaking it in. They were getting it behind. Kent Bruce was just awesome. He was all about it, dude. Yeah, man, I'm gonna make this record for y'all. And so we did it. They wanted to concentrate on everybody else's stuff, so every bit of my shit was first take, except for one song. I did Chopper. I did 2 takes, but every bit of it was one take, and I did it for them so they could have all the the time to fix their stuff and make over the time. I'm the bass player. I can hide. I'm not worried about it. Hide me. I know a lot of shit Kent Bruce did, and a lot of shit Kent Bruce made me sound gold when I wasn't. So I love, this guy's got 3 Grammys, yes. And so he did I got a record that was produced by a guy with 3 Grammys. I'm pretty happy,
Yeah.
And then you walk through Malico and you see Loaded Goat on the wall. And it's wonderful. You got Bobby Bland and then Blue Bland and you got Loaded Goat. It's a good feeling, and it's part of Mississippi history. And I love the South and where music comes. This is where good music was born.
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah, it was.
So,
it was.
Rock and roll, blues, everything was based off of a couple of dudes selling their soul to the devil and making a couple of tunes.
Yep,
and
Legba got him.
Scratch. I go Scratch. Got a man named Jack Butler. Cut head for me every Saturday night.
Jack Butler gonna like you.
Jack Butler. Saturday night, Jack Butler.
Jack Butler got showed up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. But have you seen that piece? Look, there's this guy. I'm afraid to do all of this geeky music nerd thing, but Matteo Mancuso is this guy's name.
That name is cool.
And he's an Italian guy.
I want that name.
He plays with his fingers like this, like a bass player on the guitar.
Right.
And he does the Crossroads solo.
Actually, I saw that. Yes.
It's the classical and then goes into the blues. The dude is just next level. This is one of those next level guys.
Yes.
And then there's all kinds of people, bass players too. What's his name? Charles Berthoud. I can't remember pronounce his name. Blonde guy. He's a bass player. Next level. Don't even try to do the stuff that he does. I mean, it's just next level. I mean, he's playing full songs with 2 hands, doing the bass line with the melody line. It's just incredible. But, that's the music you have now. You step your game up.
Yeah. Well,
what you gonna do? Step your game up, dude.
That's why we're our own worst critics.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna do what you can do and the best that you can. And if you actually can do that sort of stuff, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
If I could do what you're talking about with I would 100% do it with the finger picking. I just cannot.
That's not your thing.
No,
that's not your thing.
Russ, you're not a chicken picker.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah, Eric Woolard, you need to go get some lessons from that dude. He's a metal flat picker, dude.
Really?
Yeah, Eric Woolard, he's a local guy, Mississippi boy. I don't know exactly what he does, but I watched him and I was like, what? That's the kind of expression you have when you watch this guy. What? This is he's a next level guy.
You know, if I was to go country at all, it would have to be like Jerry Reed.
I love Jerry
it would have to.
Reed.
Eric Woolard is Jerry Reed ×2.
Really?
Yes.
You got to be shitting me.
No.
What is his name again?
Eric Woolard.
Eric.
Woolard, I think his name is.
So he has some YouTube videos?
Flat picker. Yeah, look, flat picker, Mississippi guy. I think I'm Tennessee, Mississippi. I'm not exactly. Chad Wesley knows the guy. And so that's where he Chad was sharing his stuff. Look at this guy flat picking, you know. Chad does that all the time. Loves musicians as well. And that's where I found out about him, and he's just incredible. Man, make your jaw drop. So yeah, that's
speaking of Chad. I'd like to get him on the show.
Look, I'll go punch a hole in his face and make him come over here. I'll get a van and drive over to his house and get his wife involved in this, and we'll throw a bag over his head and throw him in the back of the van and take him down here.
I mean, blindfold him and get him here.
No, Chad is gold, man. That dude is gold.
Good.
And look, I'll tell you some shit about Chad. So he got this gig with this chick named Goldilocks. She was a ex-TNT wrestler, you know.
Hey,
so the guy cut his arm or something, you know, and during a gig, and Chad was running sound, and she's, I'm ruined. I've got no. Chad go, I'll sit in. I'll do it, and he got the spot.
Oh, cool.
And so he went up to Nashville playing for her, and then they lost their bass player. So he called me and said, hey, bro, come up here and play some bass, you know. And this cat paid for me to go practice.
Cool.
To rehearse.
Wow.
And then I got paid by her from the shows. This is when Chad was starting off his company. He was trying to get Wesley music going. And that dude's gold. We had so much fun playing. We played Ted Nugent opened for us.
Wow. Opened for y'all.
Opened for us, which is really, really, really cool. So, actually, he had the 8 o'clock spot at the Hard Rock Live, and we had the 9 o'clock spot. It's not really opening for you. That's the spot you have. You're going to follow him, and guess what? You're going to get to coattail his crowd. Yeah, so
there you go.
They're just gonna stay, and you get a free crowd. And we were like, we'll take it.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, the Goldilocks was a hell of a front woman. She could work a crowd. And there's a bunch of military people in the crowd. She worked them. They were standing up, and had the best time ever. That was one of the best shows I've ever played in my life because it was so huge.
Yeah.
I've never played for 4,000 people. That's crazy. 4,000.
It's good when you get to coattail a crowd.
Yeah.
I did that for Tom Kiefer's the other day in LA Guns.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Tom Kiefer, that's that Cinderella fella.
Yeah, Cinderella.
That's the Cinderella fella.
So he is married to Laura Snow, who used to live with us. She's now Laura Kiefer, but she was married to Ronnie Snow, and she used to live with us, and we had a great time growing up. And I haven't seen them since, though. They were really good people back there, but I hadn't seen them since. But again, Ronnie Snow, man, dude, I'd like to hook up with that cat, dude. I'm telling you what, that was a ripping guitar player, man.
And Russ, did you get to meet Tracy?
No, I did not. I mean, I could have, but we were just busy doing other things, and then Tracy didn't really hang out much. We actually went on the bus with Tom. And so that was.
You get to meet Laura?
Now Tom was the only one right there.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the only one there.
Laura's cool.
Yeah, but
he's married to a girl from here.
That's Laura Busby.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
The Busby crew.
That's Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk's.
Yeah, Rachel's sister.
Rachel.
That's right.
She's a sweetheart too. God, they're all sweethearts, man.
Yeah,
I love all of them.
I was talking to Kurt. I was like, "Are you coming?" He's like, "No, the casino won't let the kids in." I was like, "Man, that's crap." He's like, "Yeah, I want my kids to come up there and see his aunt and uncle play." And I was like, "I don't blame you."
You're damn right,
Yeah.
man.
So he didn't get to come,
man.
but yeah.
That's kind of a pivotal point in someone's kid.
Yeah.
Your aunt and uncle are playing on a stage. Come on, bro. Let those kids in. Man.
Let them in a control room or something where
it's the tribal rules, and that just is not.
That's true.
So
I just want to put it out there.
Gaming commission.
I want to get Tom Kiefer on the show too, since we got ties.
And let me tell you,
I wish I could. I don't know.
He is the most chill dude.
That's awesome.
He is soft spoken.
And I'll be honest with you, I like him now better than I did. I didn't like Cinderella. I actually like him now. Mm-hmm. He's a lot different, a lot later. He doesn't scream all that. I'm not a big screamer.
Right.
All that. The Cinderella. Come on, man. Shut up, dude.
Man, back in the day, they put on one hell of a show.
I
saw
can
him
remember
none
of it because that dude's screaming on the top of it.
I saw them in the Coliseum, and
I think I saw him too.
Yeah, I can remember like he would not have the guitar on, he'd be singing, and then all of a sudden one of the stage guys, one of the roadies, would like chunk this Les Paul across the stage to him.
It's heavy as hell.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a 10-pound guitar, and he would catch it in stride, put the strap on, and hit the solo. I mean, it was just perfect. It's like, man.
Oh, that brings up something. I saw a video. This is crazy. I shared it too. It's when the Traveling Wilburys and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something did the While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and they were going to have a guest spot solo. And Prince came out at the end of it.
That's an amazing solo.
But here's the spooky part. At the end of it, he plays. They don't show really much of this. At the end of it, it's the end of the song, and he plays them out. At the end of it, he goes like this, whoop, whoop, with his guitar and throws it up in the air. It never comes down.
What?
The guitar
Somebody
never
grew wings.
Comes
Someone
down.
called it.
He go. I mean, there's nobody around him. I mean, he's in the middle of the stage and he goes like this.
I gotta watch that video again.
Yeah, I shared it. If you go, Eric,
there's got to be some pitching line on that or something.
Okay.
And I'll tag you in it. But it's the most incredible. And at the end, it's this guy talking about the solo, and he's talking about how great Prince was. But at the end, he mentions, and one of the stagehands swears that the guitar never came down. And I was like, wait a minute, this is the story. I don't care about the solo anymore. I want to hear about this. Where did the guitar go?
Right.
Who's got this guitar now? This is famous. This is the guitar that disappeared during Guitar Gently Weeps solo. It's like,
He got whisked away.
He got whisked away. I would have grabbed it. I'd have tucked it under my arm and bit on first cab out of there, boy. I'll tell you what. That's some Prince stuff. I'm taking that.
I didn't appreciate Prince back in the day when he was, huge, back when I was in college and stuff. But, man, now that he's gone, I have a major appreciation.
Me and my wife were both very, very impacted by Purple Rain when it came out. It was so, because me, when Purple Rain came out, I was in his spot, not the talent that he was, but I was trying to make it in the band.
Yeah.
Right.
I had that drive and I understood that, that whole, I got to put my artistic representation out front. I can't go down on it. I can't drop it. I can't relax on my musical intuition. I need to pull it through. And that's the way I was at the time. But me and my wife, we've been together since 85. Mm-hmm. And so that's our youth. We hear Purple Rain and we're like, that brings us back to the day, some good days, And when you're sitting there watching the Super Bowl and Prince is playing Purple Rain in Purple Rain, it's a next level experience, man. And then I will always be a Prince fan but me and my wife have always been Prince fans. We've always been Rocky Horror Picture Show fans. Mm-hmm. That's one thing we share. We will get up and do the whole thing. We try to do it for our kids, our grandchildren, and we're like, y'all are the stupidest people on the planet.
They just don't get
it. No, but this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, like we had our kids and grandkids during Thanksgiving, and they'd be home and stuff. We'd play like Grease, and me and Renee would do the whole Grease. So we'd act it out. So my kids are so, oh my God, that's y'all. Oh my God, they see these TikTokers now, and that's you and Daddy. Oh my God.
Talking about Prince and Eric. I know you love a good conspiracy.
Oh yeah, right. Look, let's talk about Prince, how they murdered him.
Yeah,
let's talk about murdering him.
Come on with it.
What I was thinking is like we need to have another podcast podcast with you on.
Okay,
and we'll just have a podcast
Just
about
of
conspiracy.
theories.
Oh man, I'm ready.
yeah.
Look, here, let's talk about Prince real quick. Okay, who here knew that Prince had a sister until he died and she got it all?
Yeah, she got it all. Yeah.
She got everything bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard that.
Have you ever heard this woman?
No.
Yeah. I'd never heard this. I never knew he had a sister.
She kind of swooped
but she
in.
owns all of Prince's
How convenient.
shit.
Wow.
But here's the thing. Just 2 or 3 years before Prince died, he had finally got all of his ownership of his own music back from everybody. He had finally, when he carved slave in his face, he wasn't talking because he was a black man and faced slavery. He was talking about he was a slave to the record company.
That's right.
companies.
That's
The record companies
It's kind of like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And see, that's part of it too, because he knew what Michael was going through.
Right.
He had the same idea and he was going through the same thing. So he came out with, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And see, this is what happened. He had 4,000 hours of music on his fucking board
Isn't that crazy?
when he died. What, dude, could you imagine? That's fucking 20 years of top 10 hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's billions of dollars, dude.
Yeah.
And so this is my thing. First thing, he Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Okay. He's in pain. What kind of pain is he in that he can't go to a doctor and say, okay, here's what's wrong with you. You need to eat better. Here's a neurological disease. We can treat it with this drug or something. No, he, for some reason, started taking some really heavy painkillers.
Was it propofol? Is that what they were?
Yeah, something, the same shit. They killed that motherfucker, dude.
Sure.
They killed that man.
Yeah. How old was he when he died?
Young man.
Yeah, I mean, he was young, but how old was he?
I can Google it.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't.
We definitely need to have that podcast. And
We need. I think you're right. I
Don't
think we need.
Don't get me started on all this conspiracy theory.
Now
stuff,
all of us
man.
are going to get taken out because we're talking about it.
Let's talk about Sam.
I'm gonna put
on
a
all
tinfoil
kinds of
hat
lists
on.
all of a sudden.
Tinfoil for everybody.
Let's go
We're
further.
going to talk
back-
about music conspiracies.
Let's go further back in time with Sam Cooke. Okay.
Oh.
Sam Cooke was coming out. at
Prince was 57.
this-
Yeah.
So
And he looked like he was all of 40.
Sam
Right.
Cooke had a thing in his mind. He saw all these white, rich mafioso guys making all this fat cash on all his brothers. All these brothers that were writing all this righteous music, this awesome, the best music ever written, was getting stolen by these people. They were getting like pennies on the dollar of what these guys were. They were making bank off of these people, and they were living in driving cars and living in the luxury and stuff. Sam Cooke said, you know what, I want that. You know what, I'm going to start a label that gives 90% to the artist and the record company keeps 10% instead of the other way around. The record companies were keeping 90% of this stuff and giving the artist a little stipend. Here you go buy yourself a car and make yourself feel special. And he said, man, no, they're stealing, they're robbing from us. So like 3 weeks after he started all of this stuff in motion, some prostitute has him killed. And they say, what's the guy's name? There's another blues player that wore his suit to his funeral that was seeing his old lady. And they say, well, he's the guy that killed him. That wasn't the guy that killed him, dude. The mafia killed that dude so they could make that money because they didn't want these individuals. It doesn't matter if they're black or white. They're not in the club.
It's the green.
They're
man.
not in the club. They don't get that money. So Sam Cooke was like, nah, we're going to get that money. That's for us. And which he's absolutely 100% right. They're the artists. They deserve that shit. I don't care what you say. They deserve it.
There's always gatekeepers, man. You try to got to get through them, and then you can't.
You can't. But see, this is the thing about the internet. This is the great thing about this right here. This is why I promote this individual podcast thing. You know that Radiohead, this is the best thing about music. Radiohead, their last album, they put it out on the internet. They did it themselves because their record label contract ran out. So they said, we're going to do something for ourselves. We're going to make a whole record. And they put it out on the internet and they said, you can have it. Just pay us what you think it's worth. And they made more money on that record than they did all of their stuff combined.
because of all of the things that are attached to that money.
Yes.
So yeah.
And the Spotify thing too. Artists are making 33 cents on.
Oh, they're making pennies.
0.3, and it's like, why doesn't someone come up with a streaming platform that pays the artist 90% of the money?
Oh, they would snuff it out. Someone would snuff it
out. Mm-hmm. This is exactly my point. But this is my problem. You got Jimmy Page up here.
Yeah.
He's in front of Congress and he's talking about this. Jimmy, you got enough money that you can start your own streaming service. Here's the problem. They don't want to cross the mafia. Mm-mm. They don't want to be killed. Mm-mm. They don't want to go through all of this because what the companies do, they say, okay, if you're going to start a streaming service, we're going to bog you down with lawyers for the next 20 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you'll never do anything again. And they go, what's the use then? Mm-hmm. So, and it's like, man, and now I'm forced to go give people 0.2 cents on their music on Spotify. Yep. And it's like, man, I'm sorry. This is what I do. I go Chad Wesley's Spotify and I'll play his album and just let it.
Yeah, just let it play.
Mm-hmm. I just go let it play. It's fun to listen to, but I repeat that he goes, oh, thanks, man. You made me 77 cents. Yeah. All last year you made me 77 cents. Yeah, there you go. How about
that? The thing is, if you get a bunch of people to do that.
Well, this is the truth. This is why they show these walls on TikTok. These people, they got walls of stuff and they type in one thing, Taylor Swift. Click, and all of these phones play that shit over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And they think that this is real. These are really people. These people are this insane over people. Let's. I got to talk. Here's my ultimate conspiracy. Listen, Kanye West. Let me tell you my Kanye West story. Okay, this is my belief of this. Taylor Swift started out a country star, pretty big country star.
Yeah.
Until Kanye West blew up on her. He blew up on her. Nobody knew who she was except for country people. And in one night, more people Googled Taylor Swift because of Kanye West than they did because of Taylor Swift.
And you always got to ask yourself, was it planned?
Oh, absolutely it was.
Okay, here's number two.
It's all planned.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep going. Kanye West is a freaking genius. And this is brilliant because of it. Beck. I know Beck is the loser. Come on, you're a loser, baby. Yeah. Why don't you kill? That's what I know Beck as. I didn't even know he had a record out, much less he was up for a Grammy, until Kanye West went up there and blew up on him. He's a white guy, doesn't deserve this. This deserves to a black woman, needs to have this record, blah, blah, blah. And nobody knew that Beck had a record out, much less a Grammy Award-winning record. And in one night, more people found out about Beck because of Kanye West than they did because of Beck. Okay, here's the clincher. This is the shit. Okay, the Kanye West is a brilliant man. He twitters. And this is when it was a tweet. He twitters, I'm about to make this McCartney fella famous.
Yes, I remember this one.
Okay. In one night, more people Googled Paul McCartney, the Beatles, and they heard about it from Kanye West than they did because of the Beatles.
Yeah, this newer generations, right?
People all in the desert, they got a little phone and they go, McCartney, who the McCartney? And they go and they're singing some Farsi and stuff, but they finding out who the Beatles are because of Kanye. Mm-hmm. Because of Kanye West. He blew up all these people.
Yeah.
And he's really a genius. And this was all set up. This was all lined out. All these shows. You don't let somebody walk up on the stage and take the artist's microphone out of their hand and start talking while they sit there and go, hi, everybody. I'm just going to sit here and look really pretty while he does all of this horrific things.
Yeah, all this shit's planned.
Yeah.
It's
just like all orchestrated.
It's just like, what was it, Will... the comedian,
Will Smith,
and
the slapping,
Chris Rock, slapped.
Yeah, he slapped the shit out of
that shit.
The thing is they have a movie where that happened in the movie, and they just played the scene out in real life. But you can go see the clip of the movie. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a movie that exactly happens where the guy says, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," and walks up on stage and slaps the guy. I mean, it's a movie. And it's like, they did that, redid that. Oh, wait, something's wrong here.
Okay, so we've had a great night tonight. We had a great time with Eric, and we want to make sure that y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our content to help our algorithm. We're just trying to build some numbers and have a great time, and we want this stuff to get out to people because we're having a great fun time hanging out in STS. So, y'all have anything you want to say before we say goodnight?
They've invited me back to further explore these conspiracy theories. And if you know me about conspiracy theories and all aliens, flat Earth, whatever you want to go into the moon, you want to podcast, come back when I'm here. Actually, subscribe. If you subscribe, they'll let you know when I'm coming back to talk about all this nonsense.
And there's a notification bell to it, and it just gives you an alert saying that we've released a video.
Yeah.
But your subscription also gives us motivation to continue to do this.
We're having a great time.
We're having fun with this.
We are having fun.
So far, I've enjoyed every one of these. So I watch them every week when they come out, and I'm just enjoying myself. I'm definitely, it's all my boys, and give a shout out to Reckless Malfunction because those guys are top notch.
We had fun.
Oh yeah,
they're so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Eric, we've enjoyed having you, man, and we're definitely going to have you back really soon.
Absolutely, thank you so much for having. This is a great podcast. I'm loving this. Cool. I really am.
Russ, is there anything you want to say tonight?
I'm good. I had a great time.
We all had a great time.
I'm good, motherfucker.
Russ McGuffey, my spirit animal. We're going to play some music. One day we're going to play some music and y'all going to be scared. So.
That's right. Be scared.
Okay, well, it's time to say goodnight.
Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, we ready?
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Are we going to try to say goodnight and...
I don't know. Do y'all want to
Nah.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, that was not bad.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't great.
Bye, y'all. Good night.
Good night.